The black, which is another. What if all the colors of your life are we're about to get started shortly. Just get into the groove with me. I wish that I could fly. Some Cold Soldier. The song is called Harmony. Gravity is holding me down. The gravity is holding me down. Never wish the soundtrack of your life could flow in harmony. Take the sun and brighten up your life. Be free, be free, just be harmony. Me together. Why did it blink out like that? Simultaneously, you blend me, I'll blend you together. Creating something brand new. We call it Maya. Balance, divine, complete like number 9. Hope they not blocking it because it keeps blinking out. Never seen it do it. We the soul leaders. We the soul seekers. Harmony is keeper. Let's still welcome to be soul that activation. Peace. This is dedicated to the people. African Galactical, showing you the actual. Anything I feel about it is all factual. Aries and Virgo harmonizing. That's we come together and create star in harmony. Get started shortly. We just keep it square root and so divided us like Martin and Rosa Parks boycotting the city bus. If I keep it 100, can you promise me the same? Harmony's the only way that we can beat the game. Fuck fame without power. Fuck fame without power. Let's build everybody and create our power. Once again, that's Harmony by Cola Soldier. You can find it on YouTube on the Cola Soldier channel. Ashe. Be free, be free, just be harmony. Anyway, I never did complete it. That was just kind of like a rough draft when I first wrote it, and we never completed it, so it stayed like that. Anyway, I want to welcome everybody to my live stream who is tapped in, who will be tapped in. The only thing I did differently tonight, I didn't stream it on Facebook. And I'm doing that just to see if how I can, track my audience, see where the traffic is coming from. Not only that, it's really not for Facebook. I've been, I think I've been generous in sharing, um, the things that I'm doing still with the Facebook community. I said I would do Metaphysical Monday and still stream that on Facebook. But for the most part, the Soul Jet Activation Hour is for Calligraphy TV. It's for YouTube, and it's for people that support me, my subscribers, future subscribers, and just people that want to tap in to the Soul Jet Activation Hour. Now, right now, because I've been going through this big shift and I'm still trying to, let everything settle in, I have not had like I don't have a set schedule for Calligraphy TV yet, but I can tell you that in September I will be doing things regularly. Right now, I am, like I've been saying on some of my other lives, I've been regrouping. I actually had a surprise visitor that came from Cali. That was real dope, and they stayed a week, and that was cool. I really really enjoyed that. I needed that relief, and I needed that companionship and support and all of that. So that was real cool. But other than that, and the way I spent my week, I just been buying stuff for my healing space. Just redoing some things. What else? I've been like shopping for plants. So let me see. Can y'all see my plants? Let me see if I can turn the camera. Oh yeah. I buy several plants and they have to be repotted and all kind of stuff. So I got my hands full right now. But I thought it was important for me to still tap in to the calligraphy page since I am trying to build a new community here. And there's many people that, I'm new to this community as far as especially doing lives. So y'all know I am an international tarot reader, oracle, intuit, and also a spiritualist. This is not a reading channel. However, I will be doing 1 to 2 lives a week. Tarot Talk Tuesday, Tarot Talk Thursday. And I'm not sure if I'm gonna do that twice a week yet, but I'm thinking twice a week. I don't want to overwhelm myself. And then there's Metaphysical Monday on Mondays. And then we'll have the random lives. So I may do a tarot talk once a week. I may alternate from Tuesdays and Thursdays. I think that may be better, but the schedule will be out September the 1st. We'll post it on a post on here. I will post it on Facebook, on TikTok, and it will also be on I'll make a reel for it so you can go on all my platforms. If you want to know how to tap in with me on TikTok, I'm under new_Souljet_community, and that's how you can find me, New Souljet Community. I also have that's enough now, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna get into the Soul Activation Hour. Soul Jet Activation Hour. Now this is something new, and the Soul Jet Activation Hour is always going to be done in the nighttime hours between, between like 10:30 and midnight. I'd like to start those, and that's definitely unique to YouTube. And tonight I'm doing another Soul Jet Activation Hour because I do have some information that I wanted to give, but it's I don't know if I should get into this tonight because what I'm planning on doing tonight is I'm bringing y'all some tarot readings. So just give me a moment, and that's not all. We're gonna start. The name of the live is "You Killed the Butterfly," or "You Killed the Caterpillar, Not the Butterfly," and we gotta be clear on that. We want to be real clear on that because some people get it twisted. See, this is a time right now where humanity is on a reset, as we know. So many of us should be already walking off the path of the caterpillar or leaving or metamorphosing from the path of the caterpillar into the cocoon, being prepared to be the butterfly. So there's a lot of things that's happening right now. And one of the things is I'm honoring my time, I'm honoring my energy, I'm honoring my privacy. I'm going to be limiting access to myself. Like I'm eventually phasing these pages out, except for Calligraphy TV, which is here on YouTube. And I'm gonna stay with TikTok until we can't get TikTok no more. They said that they was trying to do away with TikTok. I don't know if that's gonna come into fruition. I haven't looked on that. I'm not even tripping. I got so much other stuff going on. But as far as being on the social media apps, I am limiting like the Facebook. I'm not even on Instagram. Um, I mean, I'm sure I got profiles on Instagram, but I don't really use them. Now, things that I post on Facebook do go to the Instagram sometime, So yeah, but I don't really look at the motion on it, or because I got shadow banned. Anyway, let me go ahead and get started into what I wanted to speak on briefly. Because this is a late night live. It's probably going to be a long live, just like the other one. We're going to go ahead and start with, I'm going to take off my get comfortable. I like everybody to be comfortable. I like to be comfortable. So I'm sure everybody else is at this hour, depending on where you are in the world, right? Okay, so for those of you who don't know, I'm Sister High Priestess Cola Souljet, and I am the facilitator and high priestess of the new Soul Jet Healing Community. I call it a, you know, like it's a community. It's another word I use, but I can't think of what it is. So let me get into, and I may just go ahead and turn this up just a little bit while we do devotion. I know it's been a hard week for some. For many, we got Mercury in retrograde. We just came out of a Scorpio moon, real intense, you know, and so much is real intense. And today we're in a Libra moon. So for some people, relationships are in focus. Relationships are in focus. So if y'all see me looking this way, I got this really pretty, it's like this light show, not a light show, but like a slideshow with these real pretty serene scenes in them. So I don't want it to be a distraction, but I may glance over there every now and then because it helps me. I'm noticing that it's really good with my, you know, meditations and stuff that I like to do. Um, so what I want everybody to do is time to get it started. We've been 11 minutes in. Yo, it's late, and yes, I am on cloud nine right now, you guys, all ready to get into it. You know what? It's a little warm in here. Give me a moment. Give me a moment. Need to put my fan, my ceiling fan on. 'Cause I really don't want air blowing on me other than the fan circulating. Anyway, welcome in. Hey, Shaylee. I'm just getting started. So we're about to go ahead and start with the devotion. And I didn't share it this time on Facebook. I probably will afterward. I'm just streaming it on YouTube right now. Okay. So let's go ahead and put our shoulders down. And the way it works is most people already know that taps in. When I hit the bowl, or actually, we're going to start with a deep breath. And then when I hit the bowl, you slowly release. Okay. So I'm going to start with I call this the chime to set the tone. So this is what I start with, okay? This is just the first chime before we start the breaths. Or you can even breathe now because we're just trying to get into a space of a theta frequency, okay? Okay, so that's the first chime. Now, I want you just to think about all of the pain, any type of challenges, stress that you have been maybe, you know, going through during this week, things that you may feel, feelings that you like to release. This is a good time to just take all of that in, okay? And then you're gonna hold it. And then when I ring the chime, you're gonna release, okay? So let's go ahead and take a deep breath. Think about all of the stress, the challenges, and worries. And we're gonna hold it and release slowly. Okay, we're gonna do a second chime. So I want you to go ahead again. Anything that's in your body that you may be feeling that's out of tune, out of balance, relax and take a deep breath. And I want you to focus on those parts and allow this sound medicine to help you bring it into balance, to begin bringing it into balance, okay? So go ahead and take another deep breath. Think about everything you'd like to release, any pains in the body, any emotional blocks, any mental blocks, any blocks. Let's remove them, hold, and slowly release. Now, this is the last chime, and this is for those out there that's feeling hella good and they're on a hella good vibration and want to just take in this hella good frequency. Go ahead and take another deep breath. Inhale the good stuff and exhale the negativity on the sound of the chime. Hold it and slowly release. Yes. Now, tonight, I'm not going to get too deep into devotion like I did before. Oh God, we'll be having church on Friday nights. You know, we will be having the Soul Activation Hour on Friday nights. I think that's the ideal time. Tonight, I just wanted to bring some readings and a little bit of information too before I get started. How you doing, Shaylee? And anybody else tap in? So the name of this live is They Killed the Caterpillar, Not the Butterfly. And one of the things and that's facts, because the path of the caterpillar was already leading to death, right? Now, one of the things I'm going to be talking about over the next couple of lives is this caterpillar symbolism, deeper into that and where we are in this shift, where we are on this path of allowing ourselves to get into the cocoon, allowing ourselves to. I learned that with a lot of the pain that we feel, the pain is so great many times. It's almost unbearable, some of the pain that we have to endure, emotional pain, physical pain, things that we hold on to for years. But there's been some recent pain with people, and it's triggering old pain, old wounds, and it's happened to me, and I know it's happened to many others. And it's happening to many others, especially as we have these retrogrades, as we have these energies with Mars and Uranus conjunct in it, just so much um, leaving from the south node to the north node, an old way of being to a new way of being. So those pains, they can be overwhelming. The illusions are so great. And what I've found over these last few months for me, which gave me, the ability to still do my work, I had to pull back for one. I had to pull back from social media. I had to pull back from conversing with so many people and giving people my time and energy. But when you need somebody, definitely reach out, because it's important. Everybody needs people to talk to and stuff, especially going through hard times. But it's leaning into the pain, and that's very hard, because one of the things is we are fighting so much to not be in this frequency, fighting so much to not feel the pain, and we don't want to be in this vulnerable space because it hurts, right? We don't want to be in a space that makes us feel weak, makes us feel helpless. So we fight this process, and see, and I'm speaking to emotional pain, and this emotional pain I'm speaking to can, of course, the obvious. People always, we reflect a lot on relationships between two people, right? Male and female, uh, mainly, but also, however your coupling is, or whatever the relationship is, whether it's with family or with spouses. But when we come into these relationships, this is what you got to keep in mind on the relationship part of it. We blame a lot of, our partners for, certain pain that we feel. And, like these people just put a pain on us that has never been experienced before, that you've never experienced before. And to a degree, it may be so, but really a lot of this pain is produced by pain that we already have inside, pain that lies dormant inside of our bodies that we often suppress, or we push down. Give me a moment. And before I do anything else, I want to stop and just give thanks. I want to give thanks to the Creator, to the process, to the universe that gives us the space to create, the space to connect with the Most High, or the all in all, to have access to all of this divine information that comes through. I want to give thanks to my ancestors who passed on the gifts that I have to me, who gave me the ability to, they survived, so they gave me an ability, they gave us, all of us that's here, a divine opportunity to live life, to choose for ourselves and to do it differently. So I just want to give thanks, to break generational curses, to heal, in this life, not waiting for an afterlife. Now I said they killed the caterpillar, not the butterfly. Like I said, the caterpillar path is a path that most of us are on, or a lot of people are on right now. I would like to say I'm no longer in the caterpillar stage, because I allowed myself to get into the cocoon. And to get into the cocoon is to allow your heart to break. Allow yourself to feel what you need to feel. Allow yourself to die into the present of whatever that reality was. We pray and we do all of these things, manifesting. Some people working in spells and stuff, all in an attempt to create a change, to create a new reality. And this is what people say that they really want. Connection problems here. And just to make sure it's not because of my music, I'm gonna pause it. That way I can even put this on TikTok if I, put some snippets on TikTok. Now this is supposed to be free music, excuse me, dealing with a little bit of allergies. And so the pain of the frequency shift that they don't tell you. Now we hear a lot of healers and people who practice mindfulness, like myself, but people who have like the self-help, you know, um, way of, or path, or just whatever, these different paths are, and they're telling you, like, or even church, that's like, oh, just give it to Jesus, or, you know, um, I don't know, just whatever we do to heal so that we can move, or what we're programmed to do and think or feel in order to heal. And most of the time in Western culture, especially, and I can't speak for, other parts of the world, which I know in other parts of the world, from what I do know, some of those places is even, some places, it's even harder to heal, because, some people suppress, certain things that we may express. And in the same here in America, where some cultures may be more expressive and more able to show emotion and affection, healing, you have places that are, more, America could be more like, that's not a natural thing to do, is to show certain pains that we're going through. Even now, with the level of vulnerability that I'm in, to some people, they may not understand that. It may be something that loses people. But as a healer, I have to be vulnerable, right? What people don't tell you is the pain of frequency shifting. Because what's wrong with our culture here in America, it's kind of like when people say, like, hey, how you doing? And everybody's like, oh, I'm good, I'm great, I'm fine, and that's not reality. Then you have people, like, when you want to express certain emotions such as anger, or pain, or confusion, depression, there is people who will look at that as a weakness, and they'll try to, or even expressing mental imbalances, even expressing times where you're not your strongest. And instead of people supporting you, they put labels on people and different things like that. But really, the most dangerous thing is the people who never deal with the issues that they have, and they continue to, you know, they come in with this overly, cheerful attitude, and with all of these scriptures and philosophies and affirmations and stuff, and it's almost like a toxic positivity, and they're dismissing what another person may be feeling or going through. You also get that with spiritual bypassing, where people will get so caught up in whatever this spiritual belief is, or whatever this path, or whatever it is you believe, to a point where you're using that as a excuse to not deal with your issues, or to not even allow other people to express what they may be dealing with, challenges they may be going through. It's kind of like the trope of, give it to Jesus, and that's all fine and good, but problems have solutions. There's certain things that we have to push past. So when we talk about these manifestations, especially people working 369s, and you're really adept at manifesting. I spoke about the beach and the beach ritual, and how fast these energies can shift like this. Frequency shifts are unbelievable. They're really unbelievable, because it's always gradual. But when you realize it, by the time for some people, unless, for me, it's been a journey, but I definitely can feel the changes, and many of us can, if you're really highly sensitive and empathic. You can feel, you're more like introverted. Also, you may be able to feel these shifts and changes that's in the environment, versus people that's always in action and always moving, so they may not notice, and so it may feel like the rug was pulling from under your feet, or you in a world now that you don't understand. Like, what is this? This doesn't look familiar. Where are my friends? Where's my family? Where is my life? Where is, all of these different things? But it was always changing as you're changing, because when we put these energies, and I'm not down in it, because I understand it's all about, first it starts with that thought. Like, you wanna have a positive mindset. You wanna make changes, stuff like that. So I actually got some notes here that I'm gonna read over. I'm kind of like just in the flow. It's been a long day, you guys, and it's been a lot of things that we're in this retrograde that tried to stop me. Because literally, I was gonna go live at 8 o'clock this morning, and I just couldn't. Things just kept pushing me back, and I just decided it was this important. So I decided to do my late night live. It was supposed to just be like just a tarot session, but I wasn't. I wanted to speak on this, because where we are, we got all of this conscious information. People are starting to elevate. You know, we're at a space now where there's so much information out there. We're in the information age, and you hear people talking about, oh, I'm on the fifth dimension, I'm going through the fourth dimension. They talk, and I'm not to say that these people aren't experiencing these things, but they speak to this like all it took was 30 days of affirmations, or a year of whatever, and now boom, you're in this frequency that's higher, and you looking on other dimensions, which it's just maybe some people, but I know from working with people, because I'm an oracle, I'm a spiritualist, I'm a healer. I work with people with different things that they are fighting through. So it's one thing that you can get on here and say you're not going through things. We all go through things. I've been doing this work for over 20 years, and we all go through things. We evolve, we devolve, right? The most important thing, though, because see, the thing, things change. The most important thing is being aware And being able, the more we're able to detach, the more we're able to detach and accept that things change and they will continue to change. Everybody go through things that could be challenging, no matter how much knowledge and wisdom. And if you love somebody or love something, whether it's family, friends, the cat down the road, as Ralph Smart say, whoever it is, um, you're going to put yourself in a space to feel pain and to have to deal with loss, or because really, as we, it's the attachments, the way we attach ourselves to situations, people, the material world, that brings us so much pain. And those are the things, like, we have to move on, give thanks for serotonin, because that's what gives us the chemical we need to move on from hardships and grief and different things like that. And to me, that's a good thing, because we have to be able to function, even though some people, they still can't. It takes some people longer than others. Some people it take weeks, months, years, depending on how tragic and that individual, and how strong they are, and and just you know how connected they are to how they see life, death, reality, loss, pain. We all have different levels of consciousness, so I'm not taking away from people that may feel like they're on the fifth dimension and in those things, because that's the goal. But it's hard to breathe up there. I'm gonna leave that there for those that catch that. It's hard to breathe up there with by yourself. Now there is people, obviously, ascended masters, and people that do this. But what I want to talk about is the majority of the people and the pain of frequency shifting. So I'm gonna go with my notes, and if I haven't answered what I want to say in my notes, then I'll further explain it, because I didn't write like full notes. I was just kind of putting my thoughts together. So this is not that long. So pushing past illusions by shifting the frequency around you happens when you shift or change your vibration, and your vibration changes when you change your thoughts. Okay? So pushing past illusions by shifting the frequency around you happens when you shift or change your vibration, and your vibration changes when you change your thoughts. Okay? That's the first part. That's the first part. But see, it's not just, changing your thoughts is the first part, right? But there's another piece to that. This is why people thought they had it figured out with the law of action, because with the law of vibration is about, it's like the universe gives you what you are, not what you want, or not what you ask for, not what you're wishfully praying for, or what's the other one? Uh, just in this false positivity, or whatever you think you're going to get from this process of just thinking positive. And like I said, that is the first key, is to have a positive thought. But there's something else that takes place in that piece, because you got to get the consciousness first here. Like, okay, this is the thing I can do. I can change my thoughts. But what about your feelings? What about your feelings? Because your thoughts is one thing, but what trips us up, unless you're just walking around with no feelings, what trips us up is our emotions. Because there's so many things that sometimes that lies dormant in us that we don't even know needs to be healed. There's different triggers that may come about, where something that you didn't even know was still there. So the mind will carry you. That's why I said I'm not going to discount the thought, because I'm a thinker, and the thought is where it starts. It starts with the thought. But because we have been through so much pain on this planet, we have been through so much turmoil, so many trauma experiences, that it has to move beyond the thought. Now the thought is what's going to lift you, but I'm speaking to, you can't really move beyond the thought in that way. I want to say you may have to go, how do I want to explain this? You have to go beyond the thought in the sense where we have to go deeper than the thought. That's what I'm trying to explain. You have to go deeper than the thought and bring it inward, because we have to make sure we're okay inside. And I say it hurts because, again, we think because we have the thought and to do all of these mindful and thoughtful things that we are now ready. We are now evolved. We are now floating and flying and all of these other things. And for a while, it may work. For a while, it really may work. However, soon as the trigger come in, or soon as you experience it, which is the trigger, you experience it again, or someone re-injures you, that's when you realize there's a whole bunch of other stuff that goes on with shifting the frequency. Or soon as somebody has the ability to affect you, to affect the way you feel, to affect the way you move or the plans you make, or affect whether move forward or don't move forward, or affect your day-to-day life, that's when you know that, and you let another individual or something material affect you in that way. This is when we know we still got some work to do. And I totally support the energy centers. I'm all about the chakras. And for those that don't relate, like I said, coming from like some of our brothers and sisters that may not, when I say brothers and sisters, I'm speaking to the Black community uh, that may not be familiar with chakras. I mean, many of us are at this stage, but there's many that are not. Or they'll say that it's not African, or it's not something that we should be delving into. And I definitely will come back with, I did say I wanted to speak about the chakras, but you got to give it up for the energy centers, that these energy centers do exist. So, for a lack of a better word, if you can't accept chakra, then energy center is also accurate, these centers throughout the body, which we'll speak on, because that's part of assessing what needs to be worked on, is taking that assessment, and I think that when you're looking at the emotional and spiritual body, there's no better system other than filling it out, intuitively, and really being on point with it. Our medical astrology is even wonderful. It's looking at the chakras to understand, you can pinpoint certain areas and where this trauma began, or where certain things fell out of balance, so that you can put them back into balance, by doing, it's work that comes with it. Don't get it twisted. It's work that comes with it. you know um Chakras can be, just healing ourselves, and getting to the space of healing comes in many forms. It's not just one thing. It's, oh, just do yoga, it all go away. And for some people it might, but we're looking at people that's going through different, stages of trauma, that's had severe trauma. Some people finding consciousness, and that's why I said I don't discount. The mind is where it starts. So if you got the mind for it, or even the heart for it, if you can feel it, you say, I feel you. If you can feel it, that's the start. And when I'm saying the heart for it, I'm speaking to the heart of new information, the mind to receive information, the mind to receive awareness of yourself and others, and also awareness of things you might have never known or heard before, without judgment, without, you may have cognitive dissonance, but without just discounting it, without taking a look at it, because we are in trouble in our communities. We are in trouble on this planet if we do not learn to shift our frequencies by beginning to heal. People, the way people feel on the inside is a reflection to what they do on the outside. It's like people pray for a better world, but we really don't want a better world, because it's like we want a better world, but no one wants to do the work. And I was kind of like, I was listening, when I did this. I don't want to go back into that, but when y'all get a chance, check out my video, another live stream we did. I did with Knowledge One Allah, called Break the Tape. And this was a Metaphysical Monday episode. Like I said, I kind of took a pause after that, and I'm on pause until September. So y'all gonna see me tap in, do lives. Sometime I'll do readings. I may do a metaphysical Monday throughout this month is halfway over, but um the schedule will be out on September the 1st. Okay, that's when I'll be in my power place. That's my birthday month. You know, I'm around my house just doing some things. I'm working. Our business kind of was has been really busy. Um, just things that I have to do, you know, setting up my healing room. You know, I got my massage table finally set up because it's been in the box for months. I cannot lie. It's been in the box for like 2, 3 months. Because life has been life. But anyway, let me go ahead more into where I was, get a little bit deeper into what we were speaking to. So I'm going to start again. Pushing past illusions. This is the pain of frequency shifts that they don't tell you. This is something that I wrote um, earlier, just as a, you know, just to kind of put my thoughts in a perspective. Pushing past illusions by shifting the frequency around you happens when you shift or change your vibration. Your vibration changes when you change your thoughts. Okay. And I'm going to say even change your feelings, because until you can change or heal the way you feel, you're going to still be on the same vibration. So even though you're like, and I know from my own you know experiences, like I'm thinking like I'm good, but the emotions are saying something different, which brings that frequency down. It puts you in a space where you're thinking, it becomes almost like wishful thinking, but you have not done the inner work to literally maintain the vibration. I mean, you may literally be able to shift vibrations, but you can't maintain it, because the moment that that wound is triggered, it brings you back. It may throw you off your game. And this is to take it as it resonates, okay? I know some people, like I said, they're already like super on their levels, and there's some people that's pretending, and that'll be revealed as well, right? It's going to be revealed by, you know, you judge a tree by its fruit, okay? So we must first have the ability to be self-aware, understanding our strengths and weaknesses, and the willingness to change. And this is where the breaking the tape piece literally comes in at. You know, when I brought it, it was like, you know, I felt a little pushback from my co-hosts. Not much, but just more playing devil's advocate to show me the way maybe the collective is thinking about it. Like this is something that they not ready for, or who's willing. He wasn't really giving me pushback, but he was playing the devil's advocate, giving me that other side of it. And I'm gonna say this here, you know, who's willing? Those that really want a better world, those that really want change, those are the ones that's got to be willing. And if they're not willing, then you know it's nothing to complain about. It's nothing to complain about, except the world as it is. If you're not willing to go through these changes and do the work, because the hardest thing for people is self-awareness. It's like, you know, we live in some type of a narcissistic society where people have a hard time, you know, tapping into the shortcomings, are the things that may hold them back from greatness. And if you don't have, and I mean, I have hella self-awareness, and when I lack it, because there's times you lack it, because there's certain ways and thought patterns that you may uh, receive from like your family, or the way you were programmed, you know, from your environment, and things that may have occurred in your life where you lack self-awareness to certain things. And I'm gonna just say that it was like, you know, I had certain things that I'm aware about. You know, I'm a Virgo, so we always constantly working on ourselves and over analyzing and stuff like that. But that doesn't mean that I didn't have to have these epiphanies where I'm still coming into awareness, like, whoa, you know, I didn't know I did that, or I didn't know that's how I affected people or the environment or just whatever it is. So self-awareness is that ability to look at ourselves, okay? To be aware, understanding our strengths and weaknesses, and the willingness to change, since we must change in order for things to change. Just like the E5, Babatunde, my E5 teacher, one of my E5 teachers, his uncle was my priest before he passed. But he's my main E5 teacher, and he would say, You know, and when you change, everything around you would change. And I was stuck on that for a while. He was the one that taught me about vibration before I even knew about hermetic. Well, I knew about hermetics, but he helped me to. And I know Baba Tunde before about. No, I knew about first. Yeah. So he helped me to process vibration just based on African traditional religion. He helped me to process frequency and vibration just on certain things that was occurring in my own life that I could not understand. And he would be like, it's a frequency, it's a vibration. You know, when certain events you may have and they turn out certain ways, or certain spirits come, certain spirits don't come, certain, you know, just different things like that. And he would always say those that should be there will be there because it's based on a vibration, a frequency, you know. And sometimes, you know, it's not the right frequency in there, and then sometimes your frequencies just don't mix. Okay, but back to what I'm speaking to, but we still have to have the mindfulness to look at the things that are blocking us. And like I said, a lot of it is wounds that we internalize, wounds that we hold on to, pride, a refusal to be mindful of ourselves. Simple. So again, breaking the tape start with the willingness to change your mind, the willingness to be self-aware. That's what breaking the tape starts. And if you're saying the world isn't ready for that, if the community is saying that, the Black communities, if you're not willing to deal with breaking the tape or changing your mind, those who is the goal. Is it, you know, like I said, just doing the basics where we're giving people what they need, food, water, possibly helping them find shelter, jobs? What is the goal? Is it sustainability and uh, survival, change, progress, and elevation? That's my question. And I hope that the right people see the video, those that saw or was a part of the first breaking the tape, because that's the question I pose, and I'll pose it again. Don't worry. And I'm getting a little off the note. This is real. When, because I'm speaking to the pain of the frequency shift, you know. So when we make a decision to be awake or woke or to live a life. Oh, let me go back. I'm sorry, you guys. I was speaking to what Baba Tunde said. When you change, everything around you will change. And that was hard for me to very hard for me to understand. You know, like, what you mean when I change, everything around me will change? But no, it was facts. It was facts. It's when you change, everything around you changes. And now that don't mean that everybody gonna act right or be the way you want them to be or be the way on the frequency you're on. That doesn't mean that. But what it does mean is those that can elevate to the frequency that you're on, they'll still be there. They'll or your light will help them change. But in most cases, the environment changes when you change because those people can no longer be in your frequency. That's one of the ways you know if you're actually healing and vibrating, because the same people that were around you are no longer around you. It may be a time where you're spending lots of time alone or people have abandoned you. I've been there, done that, and still enduring that to a degree just because of the life I live, just because of the work that I do. Because I'm a full-time spiritualist and reader. I don't use YouTube and stuff for reading. However, I am bringing, my talents here. But I've been doing it, longer than YouTube, meaning there was no YouTube. So, or that wasn't popular then on YouTube. So with that being said, um, just my life is set differently. But yeah, I mean, yeah, this is my life is set up differently. So, this I don't even remember exactly where I was going with that. But yeah, rewind the video. But the point is, I know where I was going. I was going with when you change, everything around you will change. So when you look up and you alone, or you see that these same people, friends, lovers aren't around you, even if y'all good, y'all might not have had an argument or nothing, but their energy is no longer around you. That's one of the signs that your frequency is shifting up or down. Now, and I say up or down because sometimes your frequency could be so bad that nobody wants to be around you or they're not around you, just whatever. But generally, when you're leveling up and you see everybody disappearing, it's because you're doing something right. You're doing something right, and that's not y'all not meant to be on the same course anymore. That's not to say they're doing something wrong, but it is to say that your destinies have changed. You guys are not on the same frequency. Now, back to this personal journey. When we make a decision to be awake or woke or to live a life of mindfulness, to heal and release our trauma and to rewire how we think, changing negative thought patterns, triggered program responses, we often feel that just using positive affirmations. Okay, let me start over because this is going into what I just said to you guys before I started reading off the paper. I'm going to start so you can get an understanding, whoever is listening and will be listening that may not understand what I'm speaking to. So what this is basically saying you have to change in order for things to change. And when we make a decision to be awake or woke or to live a life of mindfulness, to heal, to release our trauma, to rewire how we think, changing negative thought patterns and triggered program responses into positive ones. We often feel that just using positive affirmations or false toxic positivity or scriptures and just whatever we try to do to minimize someone else's experience. Because a lot of times we minimize our own experience and we minimize others' experiences in suppressing what they may be feeling or this frequency shift that they may be going through by pushing our own agenda on them, or because we can't deal with the real. You get me? And so we do it to ourselves also by, oh, I'm great, love and light, everything is just great. When you know that you at a tipping point. Well, one little blow can send you over. And maybe you don't know. Some people don't know because it comes out in so many different ways, almost like some type of a I don't know, become like manic and crazy almost. Like you start doing stuff that you could be looked at as almost a sociopath. Like, are you connecting? Are you lacking empathy? Are you lacking empathy? Are you on some kind of, and maybe some people don't feel, so they don't even think about the awareness or how what they're doing are affecting others or affecting themselves. But some people like they got a key turned in their back, and they'll just be all over chirper, and everybody not like that. But people, especially once they get on like some spiritual kick or they find some new way of life, a new way of living, a new philosophy, then they feel like, what's wrong with you? Life is great, get over it. And honestly, we do want to get to a place where we can be positive, not putting other people down because they're not on that frequency, but we do want to get to a space where we are projecting what we're working on. Okay. So we got to make sure we're not spiritually bypassing or not, you know, we are not minimizing our experiences or other people's when there's healing that needs to be done. Okay. What else comes up? Okay. So we often feel that just using positive affirmations and false toxic positivity is enough to change our world and our mindset. Or manifest the things that you want. But in reality, we have discovered the universe gives us not what we ask for, our frivolously casting our thoughts on it, but it gives you what you are. And what I mean is, frivolously just saying, oh, I want this, I want that. So it becomes more like a wishful thinking thing. The universe gives us what we ask for, not our frivolously casting thoughts or our frivolously, I can't even say it. It's Mercury retrograde. You guys are just being careless with our words. How about that? careless with our words and our thoughts, just saying this is what I want. It's an address you're stuck at. Not only do it gives you what you are, it delivers it to the place or address that you're stuck at. Let that sit in. For whatever reason, StreamYard is having some issues. They keep blinking in and out. So I'm gonna get past this last information, and I may have to hold off on my readings until I may do those on tomorrow because I don't know what's going on with this StreamYard. I've already been on an hour. So anyway, so this last part. We pray, we manifest, we ask, we burn candles, we go to church or other places of worship in an attempt to live an easier life with love, success, or even a better body. But like all things, there are realistic steps that are involved in a methodology, a step-by-step process. And if you are unhealed, and many people are, you have to work. You have work to do. You have healing work to do, and that is from the inside out. Okay, so what I'm speaking to is when we speak to this frequency shift and removing the blocks to get to the blessings, which I spoke on that last year. We're about to go into another year now. That was in November. But what is the block? Some people are unclear about what the block is in order to get to the blessing. But I will say this, frequency shifting hurts. And I want to speak on this even more. I'm gonna have things more kind of like how things I want to touch on. This is just an introduction to it because this is a high frequency channel. This is what we're gonna be dealing with. It's a little bit late. I'm a little tired. I cannot lie. It's been a long day. But I want to just bring, this, let you know, be easy with yourself. Whoever's tapping yourself, because these aren't easy energies, especially for those of y'all that's soul jetting. And soul jetting is frequency shift. And soul jetting is elevating. You know what I mean? And for those of y'all that do support, and y'all know y'all soul jetting, the way you show support to soul jet, you put the sun in the jet and the up in the comments. You do. I'm gonna start pinning it so people know. But that's also just to let me know I'm cold. But whatever the case, we're gonna continue to talk about it. And not only that, we'll be doing exercises in like a salon. We're gonna be putting things into spiritual application on this channel, Calligraphy TV. And yeah, because it's important. This is a safe people to be able to put what they're feeling, when we're going through these different shifts, what the shift is like for you. Share your experiences. Some of you don't even know you're going through a shift. You're like, what the heck is going on? Like, why? Well, one of the things is when you begin to shift, before you even feel pain during the shift, but you begin to, it's like a whole painful experience before, like for some people, depending on what you're going through, because it's very painful to shift frequencies, depending on what it is you're detaching from. And the more you're detached, believe me, the easier it is to shift frequencies. But I'm speaking to the fact that most of us are attached. But the first thing you will notice is that people who was once causing you issues, people that was once a major part of your life, it's like their energy begins to become more insignificant. For whatever reason, y'all may be in the same house. The stuff they're saying doesn't bother you the same way. You don't barely see them. Y'all in the same house, but y'all like coming and going like two shifts passing in the night. Rather it's because you're working a lot or just whatever it is. But you'll begin to see, it's almost like when you really can understand and see frequency and vibration, it's like their energy began to shrink. These people began to be insignificant. And the funny part is, or the scary part is that sometimes I would be afraid when I see, like when I was getting ready to move to Texas a few years ago, my boyfriend is in California. I was dating, somebody, still dating him. It's been like, 7 years now. And when I saw, we had already been like dating for maybe like 4.5 years or something. So when I saw his energy also shrinking, like it was just getting to a space where, I mean, he was still present, but it was like a different energy. I knew I was moving. And sometimes you do get a little sadder. You know that it's time to let go. And really what you manifested is manifesting. Some people don't even realize that. Some of these painful shifts that we're going through is because what you manifested is manifesting. It's here, it's arrived, and you don't even realize that it's arrived. You get me? It's because you're used to life being in a certain way. So what I want to speak to is, not tonight, but what I'm gonna open on again, we're gonna continue to talk about the pain of frequency shifting and preparing yourself and preparing your body spiritually for the shift. Because it's like now what? Like once you're in the cocoon process, and I'm still in the cocoon, I'm cocooning, okay? Um, but the butterfly is reemerging. So what do you do in the butterfly when you're in the butterfly mode? I'm learning now, like as I'm moving through the cocoon energy, which is the energy of letting go, the energy of surrender, the chrysalis, the metamorphosis of becoming what you're really supposed to be, because the larva or the caterpillar is just the beginning stages of who you still are becoming. That's a temporary stage. That's not even all of who you are, all of what you're gonna be. So let that go. And you're like, but well, I've achieved a lot as a caterpillar. Maybe you have achieved a lot as a caterpillar. And you take those things, that which you need to elevate with, and you cast out the rest. That happens in the cocoon process. When you're in there shedding your skin, shedding your whole being, you becoming like mush, like totally disintegrating in this cocoon. But there's so many beautiful things that's taking place in the cocoon. This place of healing, this place of regeneration. It teaches you patience. All of these adaptability. The caterpillar can teach you that adaptability. Um, just so much. And like I said, I'm gonna tap back into that because that's where the lesson is. This is where we are, and I think it's a perfect thing to compare our journeys to. But what do you do once you understand that you're now a butterfly? When you're now a butterfly, see, that was one of the things that was so hard for me as the frequency began shifting. I wanted to move, I manifested that. But on the downside, letting go of my partner was hard. Letting go of what we do every day and how we move. But he wasn't where I was as far as what I wanted. So I had to do what was best for me in my life. And it worked out in every other way. And to the point that he still supported me. So that energy was still there. But I'm still in a space where I had to have that room to be in that cocoon, because I did a lot of healing work over the last 3 years from the pandemic to where we are now. And I needed that space to spread my wings, because if not, I would have stayed stuck in that frequency, because that's the whole thing. When you're going through these shifts, a lot of times when you're elevating, you're alone also, because those attachments, those people we care about, the people we kick it with, all of these different things, they're the ones that keep you trapped in the frequency. They'll keep you locked in that energy, right? So I'm gonna leave it there. If anybody, have any comments, concerns, questions, hey, anything you'd like to say, tap in with me. Check out the lives, subscribe to Calligraphy TV, and I want to thank the people that did stop in and view. So um, I did say I wanted to do a reading, and I don't have time for that because of the reception is like blinking in and out. But what I will leave you with is, I will leave you with an affirmation, and I will try my readings again tomorrow. Okay, so let's just see what our affirmation is for the collective, and if I pick up anything. But it says, today I am happy. Today, happiness and love fill my heart and my soul all day. Now, say you get something like this and you know you don't feel happy. The reason I said the mind is where it starts at, is because you can begin to program your mind to be happy. Today, I feel, I am happy today. Today, I'm happy. Today, happiness and love will fill my heart with and soul all day. I know I need to to get off. This Mercury retrograde is really chopping up my words. Today, I am happy. Today, happiness and love will fill my heart and soul all day. And basically, you telling this to your mind. So instead of creating neurons and energies and chemicals that will bring more negativity, you're beginning to shift your mind into a more positive place, which is much needed because that's the start. Now, that doesn't mean that everything is going to go away. That don't mean that you're the happiest person and you happy as a lark and you're ready to tiptoe through the tulips. It don't mean none of that. But what it does mean is at least you're making the attempt to be aware of your well-being, your temperament, and the energy that you can embrace. Because just because we're going through hard times and pain don't mean we got to stay in a place of pain. We don't have to stay there. We choose. And when you choose to be in a different frequency, it allows that healing to be an easier process. The more we go with the flow, to be honest, the frequency shift hurts less. The more we learn to go with the flow. But I'm speaking to people that has been stuck in certain energies for years, for years. And for those that have bypassed spiritually by whatever distractions it is, whether it's getting so deep into your religion or spiritual practice or mindfulness or work or whatever it is you do, your house, your family, your kids, but you've neglected to take care of those traumas that are just lying dormant. That stuff can come back up later when you are in a space to work on your healing. When you decide to not just, because even if you are ignoring it, it's still going to manifest in some kind of way. It can manifest in the way you talk to your children. It can manifest in the way you treat other people, in the way you're detached from human compassion and relationships. But it always manifests. It could be through self-harm. You doing things that's harming you, through drugs, through whatever it is. But at this time and where we are, we have too much information and there's too much spaces that's being created throughout, even on internet and in real life. You can also reach out for these spaces, but it's too much information and spaces to heal. The world is literally promoting people to heal. The world for the first time is on board with us looking at mental health and us working on ourselves and embracing who we are right now and what we got. So all of that is really, we have to just want it. And if you want it, you can get it. If you want a better life, you can have a better life. Like I tell people on Metaphysical Monday, I went into this affirmation that I say for myself when I was at my lowest. I don't care if you got a crack pipe in your hand and you decide you want to throw it to the side. The first thing you need to do when you at a low point is say, I choose life. Just putting that out there in the universe is creating a energy for you to begin to improve and create life instead of death. If you're still on the path of the caterpillar, then you got to choose life. You got to get in that cocoon and do the work so you could become the butterfly. Because just remember, the path of the caterpillar is death. It leads nowhere else. It's lived as long as it can live in that form and in that body. So think about that. You've exhausted all you can in the mindset, attitude, and energy that you brought out into the world. Think about that to a point where you no longer have a purpose, a relevance. And so I know that's kind of hard, but just think about it metaphorically. You're done with a certain frequency, so now it's time to surrender. It's time to surrender. And either you're going to surrender to death physically right now, or you live in a life of death. Are you going to surrender to a space of change? And when I say death, it could be a slow death. I don't mean right now like you're gonna drop dead, but I'm speaking to a slow death from choosing choices that keep us in limited situations and not living our fullest and not reaching our potential. Or you can embrace the caterpillar, the cocoon for a minute and surrender so that you can be that butterfly, so that you can get to the level that you want to get to, because that's what life is about. It's about experiencing, evolving. You can choose the way you want to live your life, but just remember, as the butterfly, or as the thinking person, or as the person in awareness, as the aware caterpillar, you can literally recreate your storyline. And that's what we're going to talk about next time. Once you become the butterfly, with a caterpillar, he don't even know yet. But as you're in the cocoon and becoming this butterfly, and you're like, what do I do now? I'm in the cocoon. My life is different. I don't recognize what's around me. The people, the scene is different. This is when you began to recreate your storyline. And you remember, you can always change it. You don't have to stay stuck in it. It's just a blueprint of how you may want to live your life. And that's pretty much all I got to say on that, you guys. I hope y'all enjoyed this live. And I will be again, I'm gonna come back tomorrow and we'll do a long live on tarot reads or oracle reads, intuition reads. I got charms and whatnot as well. But I'll give some time tomorrow. Tomorrow's actually Thursday. So y'all just get a Tarot Talk Thursday. How about that? So if anybody want to tap into Tarot Talk Thursday, y'all make sure y'all tap in with me. Turn on those notifications. Also, look out for any flyers or posts that I may post. But I'm gonna probably start Tarot Talk. Is gonna be, probably at 9 o'clock, 9 p.m. CST. I'll let you guys know before and above. I mean, it's Mercury retrograde. I gotta go to bed, y'all. I'll let y'all know beforehand. Again, thank you for everybody that's viewed. And for those of you who will view, once again, this is Cola Souljet, Sister Cola Souljet, High Priestess of Trap Magic and Souljetism, and the facilitator of the new Souljet Healing Community. And make sure y'all tap into Calligraphy TV to stay connected with the Conscious Outcast gang. Peace.